Welcome to Books for Success. Today, we're delving into the wisdom within What Doesn't Kill Us by Scott Carney. What Doesn't Kill Us investigates the human body's potential to overcome extreme environmental conditions through engaging with frigid temperatures and high altitudes. It presents a compelling argument for the health benefits of environmental conditioning and the ways it can help individuals reconnect with their evolutionary resilience. By outlining techniques that challenge the body's comfort, it offers a glimpse into the potential for improved physical and mental fortitude. Who's it for? Fitness enthusiasts interested in alternative training methods, adventure sports athletes and trainers, advocates of the paleo lifestyle and diet. Before we begin, subscribe and ring the bell for notifications if you want to keep receiving the knowledge of book summaries about health, wealth, love, psychology, and much more. Don't be shy about dropping your book suggestions for us to summarize. Also, you can use this video as an audiobook summary. Let's grow and succeed together. What's in it for me? Unleash your body's hidden strength by embracing the transformative power of the cold and breath. Scott Carney. What doesn't kill us? How freezing water, extreme altitude and environmental conditioning will renew our lost evolutionary strength. Imagine facing a blizzard in nothing but a swimsuit and feeling invigorated rather than frozen. This scenario challenges our modern sensibilities. Comfort equals happiness, right? Yet, history and biology suggest that our bodies are designed for more than constant warmth and safety. They thrive on challenge and adapt to stressors in ways we're only just beginning to understand. Harnessing these stressors can unlock a wealth of untapped potential within us, from physical endurance to resilience against disease. In this summary, you'll discover how extreme cold and other environmental stressors can strengthen the body and mind. You'll learn about a method that promises to restore our lost connection to nature's power, and you'll follow the stories of those who've tested this method in some of the world's harshest conditions to achieve feats that defy conventional wisdom. Of course, be sure to seek medical guidance before experimenting with your own body, especially if you have underlying health issues. Ready to connect with your body's primal power? Let's get started. Reawakening resilience, tapping into our evolutionary adaptations. Reawakening resilience, tapping into our evolutionary adaptations in our quest for comfort. Modern society has inadvertently stifled a fundamental aspect of human biology: the ability to adapt to and thrive in varied environmental conditions. The conveniences that define contemporary life, such as climate-controlled surroundings and readily available food, have led to unintended consequences, like obesity, chronic illnesses, and a surge in autoimmune diseases. But look at our ancestors. They were attuned to a life of environmental challenges. The human body evolved to respond to and manage these stressors, not only to survive, but to fortify itself. Such evolutionary responses are not irrevocably lost. They merely lie dormant, capable of being reawakened through exposure to conditions like extreme cold. The infamous Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman, brings this concept to life. Hof claims that he can control his body temperature and immune system through specialized breathing techniques and direct exposure to cold. Although developed independently over many years, his methods are reminiscent of practices from Eastern traditions such as yoga. They allow him to perform extraordinary feats like swimming under ice sheets. Hof's claims are not without scientific merit. In fact, evidence suggests there is a physiological basis to Hof's methods. Studies have indicated that he can indeed influence his immune response, stimulate brown fat to produce heat, and modify his blood chemistry. The science community is still unraveling how these abilities are possible and what their implications might be for the wider population. It seems that embracing extreme cold through practices like snow exposure, ice baths, and controlled breathing can lead to notable health benefits. These activities have been shown to improve endurance and assist in fat reduction. Physical challenges like ascending a frosty peak test the limits of these gains, yet they also highlight the risks such as afterdrop. This is when the body's core temperature continues to fall dangerously low even after one has warmed up. There's evidence to suggest that, much like Neanderthals who might have used stores of brown fat to endure the cold, this same type of fat is present in modern humans. However, it's largely inactive due to the constant warmth provided by contemporary lifestyles. Investigating how early humans digested food and managed body fat offers insight into the many health issues we face today, issues which could be addressed by reintroducing certain environmental stressors. The potential benefits of such stressors are significant. They could reactivate the body's latent abilities, leading to improved health and resilience. Controlled exposure to the cold could be a key to unlocking these dormant capabilities, offering a counterbalance to the ailments that have emerged from our preference for constant comfort. In the next section, we'll delve into the science and practice of the Wim Hof method in more detail. Mastering the elements. The Wim Hof method decoded. Mastering the elements. The Wim Hof method decoded. Let's take a closer look at the Wim Hof method, a tool for reclaiming dominion over your internal environments. At its core, the method is a regimen rooted in a primal truth. The human body harbors the latent capacity to endure thresholds far beyond cozy modern comfort. The method is simple yet profound. A combination of breath, cold, and will. Certain breath-holding exercises, followed by a bout of hyperventilation, can enable a longer suspension of breath. This physiological manipulation floods the body with oxygen and expels carbon dioxide, extending the limits of endurance and carving a mental wedge between the instinctive gasp for air and the controlled serenity of the mind. Push-ups performed during breath retention capitalize on this oxygen surplus, accelerating performance beyond ordinary bounds. Meditative exercises also play a part, with visualization techniques that tether the mind to the body's sensations, bridging the gap between thought and visceral experience. But the crux of the method is its use of cold and the effect that this has on the sympathetic nervous system. Immersion in ice baths or snow sends an undeniable call to action, prompting the body to stoke its metabolic fires. By resisting the reflex to shiver, you can summon warmth from within, tapping into the body's stores of brown fat. This fat, which was crucial to our ancestors' survival, becomes a furnace for the modern Ice Age adventurer. There are also thermal variations on this method, embracing extreme heat or alternating between hot and cold. These variations awaken dormant evolutionary abilities, conditioning the body to not just withstand but to thrive amid extremes. The Wim Hof method can be distilled into a daily routine, a 15-minute program of breathing, meditation, cold exposure, and simple exercise. Taking steps towards heightening your control over your body's autonomic processes isn't just about weathering the cold or holding your breath. It's about accessing a deeper layer of human potential, rewriting the biological script that has been dulled by the conveniences of modern living. The method proves that the body's responses to the environment aren't as involuntary as people typically believe, and that the mind can, indeed, cultivate resilience in the face of elemental adversity. This sets the stage for the next section, the conquest of physical limitations. Beyond boundaries, the power of endurance and adaptation. Beyond boundaries, the power of endurance and adaptation. Do you ever feel that the daily grind doesn't test the limits of your physical capacities? Maybe it's time to tap into your primal instincts with obstacle course races, or OCRs. OCRs, such as the Spartan race, draw millions of participants who are eager to confront their fears and push past the boundaries of their endurance, strength, agility, and resolve. The appeal of these events lies not just in physical exertion but in the visceral experience of survival, the adrenaline rush of the fight or flight response, and the profound sense of achievement that arises from overcoming adversity. These races have both their allures and the limitations in reaching the depths of the survival instinct. While the races are demanding, they only skim the surface of what's possible. Perhaps more extreme conditions are necessary to fully condition the adrenal stress response in order to enhance mental fortitude and voluntary control over innate biological reactions. We see this in elite athletes like Laird Hamilton, the legendary big-wave surfer who incorporates Wim Hof's breathing methods into his rigorous training. Hamilton's underwater exercises and his philosophical approach to surfing colossal waves epitomize pushing human performance to its zenith. His training is an exercise in adaptation, not only to the lack of oxygen but to the psychological demands of extreme sports. Despite the risks, including the danger of blackouts, Hamilton's exploits showcase the potential to expand the wedge between conscious will and the subconscious mind. This exploration of physical limits isn't without its dangers. There's a thin line between tapping into deeper consciousness and the perils of oxygen deprivation. Hamilton's holistic approach, which blends spirituality, environmental awareness, and physiological knowledge, underpins his mastery of the waves, although fortune and resources undoubtedly play their roles. There's currently a shift from the individual to the systemic as pharmaceutical companies race to harness the power of burning brown fat through medication, aiming to replicate the effects of cold exposure without the chill. Yet, this reductionist approach often misses the intricacies of the concept, the way cold exposure affects muscles, mitochondria, and beyond. As studies suggest, there are multiple avenues through which the body adapts. These biohacking techniques offer a more holistic and nuanced approach to wellness than pharmaceuticals can. On top of this, environmental stimuli can trigger a cascade of integrated evolutionary responses. In the next section, you'll learn how exposure to the elements might not only test the limits of human endurance, but also provide a pathway to healing and health restoration. Therapeutic frontiers. Environmental exposure as medicine. Therapeutic frontiers. Environmental exposure as medicine. The idea of using the raw forces of nature as a catalyst for healing is ancient, yet it finds new life in the Wim Hof method. While synonymous with superhuman feats, the method also holds a promise for those battling chronic ailments. Individuals with conditions such as Parkinson's, Crohn's disease, arthritis, and even recovery from bone fractures have turned to the icy embrace and controlled breathing to reclaim parts of their lives from the clutches of disease or injury. This can be seen at Hof's training center in the Netherlands. The simple building stands in stark contrast to the complexity of the human conditions it seeks to ameliorate. Here, amid the sparse training spaces, people gather in the hope that the cold biting at their flesh will also bite into the fabric of their ailments. Hof's philosophy of healthy, happy, strong resonates through the center, offering a simple message to a society entrenched in sickness and an over-reliance on technology for well-being. The journeys of individuals like Hans Spans and Hans Emink illustrate the profound impact of Hof's techniques. Grappling with Parkinson's, Spans found that cold exposure techniques, like ice baths and breathing routines, strengthened environmental signals to his brain, helping overcome neurological dysfunction. Emink saw his Crohn's disease recede into remission, attributing his improvement to a combination of cold exposure and the power of visualization. These are two of many stories which demonstrate the body's capacity for self-repair when prompted by the right stimuli. Of course, skepticism naturally arises in the face of such claims. Are these recoveries attributable to the power of belief, a placebo effect, or are they the tangible results of a profound mind-body connection? While the anecdotes are powerful, they underscore the need for clinical trials to unravel the efficacy and mechanisms of the Wim Hof method in medical applications. Yet there's a deeper truth here. The body possesses latent self-healing capacities that, when harnessed, can exert significant influence over functions long considered involuntary. Take a moment to reflect on the broader implications of these practices. The idea that environmental exposure and focused breathing could unlock self-healing leads us to the final discussion. Achieving a state of superordinary existence. It's a proposition that not only challenges the conventional understanding of health and disease, but also invites a re-examination of the boundaries between the possible and the extraordinary. Elemental ordeals, from battlefields to obstacle courses. Elemental ordeals from battlefields to obstacle courses. When it comes to testing the limits of human endurance and unearthing the deep well of inner strength, few things are as effective as combining the biting challenge of cold with the explosive demands of high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. This is seen in the unique training regime of Brian McKenzie, where athletes alternate between intense bursts on an assault bike and submersion in ice baths. This blend of environmental stress and exertion forces the body to tap into its energy reserves, pushing oxygen efficiency to new heights. Then there's the November Project. This community fitness initiative invites participants to brave outdoor workouts in any weather condition. Such communal trials against the elements are a throwback to the times when humans battled the raw environment daily. Embracing the cold, as these groups do, is less about novelty and more about reconnecting with a primal aspect of our nature, where facing the cold was once a badge of honor. This principle of pushing to the very edges of what's considered safe is echoed in the military, where training in extreme conditions is essential. The tragic history of unprepared armies succumbing to the elements is a stark reminder of our physical limits. Yet, research led by Dr. John Castellani at the Usarium Lab aims to redefine these limits. By simulating harsh conditions and studying soldiers' responses, the lab is developing protocols that not only safeguard against the cold but enhance performance, even down to the fine motor skills required in combat. The military's approach to training for extremes has led to advancements like heat acclimatization, preparing troops for the desert's scorching temperatures and potentially aiding in recovery from traumatic injuries. It's a testament to the human body's capacity for cross-adaptation, a remarkable ability to adjust to wildly different environments. Then there are tough guy races. Conceived by Mr. Mouse Billy Wilson, these grueling events put this capacity for adaptation to the ultimate test, as participants confront an array of military-style obstacles amid the biting cold of an English winter. The race isn't just a physical challenge but a crucible for mental fortitude, where competitors push themselves to the brink of hypothermia to emerge victorious. Participants in such races and training programs don't just aim to survive the conditions. They seek to thrive within them, unlocking a level of mental toughness and physical resilience that modern comfort often obscures. Through these practices they rediscover the profound strength and adaptability that lies within, proving that with the right conditions and mindset the human body can astonish us with its capacity to endure and overcome. Final words. In this summary to What Doesn't Kill Us by Scott Carney, you've learned that our bodies possess a remarkable yet dormant capacity to adapt to environmental stressors, a legacy of our evolutionary past. By engaging with the cold, practicing specialized breathing techniques and confronting physical challenges, individuals have rediscovered strengths that modern comfort has numbed. From overcoming chronic illnesses to scaling mountain peaks, these practices have offered many people a way to harness their innate resilience. Embrace the elements and you too can tap into the profound vitality that nature has equipped you with. Thanks for being part of our insightful voyage. If our summary piqued your interest, we encourage you to dive into the complete book for a deeper understanding. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more content if you're new here, and share it with others who might find it valuable. Keep on reading, discovering, and advancing until our next adventure.